Today I'm going to show you guys how to do a gestural sketch of a figure. And the main point of doing a gestural sketch is to capture the dynamic of the pose. It's not supposed to be absolutely anatomically perfect. It's just to get the feel and the energy and the vitality of the pose. And I'm using actually Conte lead with a holder, and usually it's good to do gestures on a newsprint, preferably because of the texture. It's a nice soft texture, and that's how you get fluid gestures, is doing kind of using a brittle material on soft texture such as Conte or charcoal. And I'll just I'll just briefly explain to you guys what's the main thing about a gesture, and then I'll do some demos. The main aspect of a gesture is the relationship between the torso and the pelvis, and how the torso and the pelvis is aligned in space, how it's represented in space, basically demands demands the definition of the entire gesture. It pretty much defines the whole gesture. And what I mean by that is, let's say, let me just show you guys. This is the torso and the pelvis. And from this, I can do a gestural pose, such as, let's say, just kind of like this. The head and the arms. And I'm just doing this out of my head, not really referencing anything in the pole. So as you can see, this is kind of like a dynamic of a figure. And then afterwards, of course, you can add the details, and you can add the muscles, and add the flesh if you want to, continue on and build upon. But this is this is really the bare minimum of what a gesture should be. So let me just do a few gestures to show you guys what I mean. I'm gonna start with this one. So the very first thing I look at is I look at the relationship between the torso and the pelvis. So it's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like this. And what I mean by that is this is the torso, and the pelvis is in space, sort of like this. And you can do it in a box, as a box, to give you more clarity of what you're doing. And this is really the dynamic of the gesture. Is it goes kind of like this, and the head here, the neck, and basically it's really just a lot of lines put together. It's better to do a lot of lines than one line, to imply the figure with more lines than one line. So preferably soft lines would probably be better than hard lines, because it kind of you can then do changes much easier, opposed to a hard line, which is hard to work with afterwards. This is the foot. And the kneecap, you just kind of you indicate it based on how it's in space. So this kneecap is kind of straight on, a little bit more down than straight on. So I would indicate it like this. And this kneecap as well, it's sort of in the same way. And so this is the basic gesture of this figure right here. And afterwards, you can of course add the flesh. So you can add flesh by muscle. So let me just do a little bit. And then you can play with line quality. Like some lines can be darker than others, based on different indications of what you want to indicate better, or more you want to indicate more than the other part of the figure, or what's closer and what's further. So you can just keep on playing with it. Let me move on to this one. So I'm just going to do a quick one, quick 30 second, sorry, 30-second gesture. So usually I start with the head because it's the top. But if you're a beginner, I would recommend you start with the torso relation with the pelvis. So so then you kind of get to this point after you do enough of them, and you'll be able to do this as well. It's not really anything everybody can do this with enough practice. It's not anything unusual. So this is the basic gesture of this figure, and then afterwards you can, block it in, and then do the spine in an abstract way where it just shows the connection between the torso and the pelvis. Of course, the neck right here, connecting to the head. Let me do some more and show you guys the basics of it some more. So let me just do the next ones. I'm gonna do this one right here. And the main thing you have to do is really capture the dynamic of the pose in the first 30 seconds. So the first thing I do is indication of the head. This is how the dynamic goes. Indicate the torso. Then the leg. And the more fluid, the more gestural it's going to be. So don't be afraid to go a little fluid. And it doesn't have to be exactly anatomically correct, because that's not the point of the gesture. And you can then you can basically build on it and indicate whatever it is that is needed. But this is basically the 30 seconds of it or so of doing the basic gesture. Then obviously you can build upon it. And the more light drawing you take, the better you're going to be at it. It's really anybody can do this. The female, of course, needs to be a little more delicately done than the male. But it's basically indications of the movement. Now let me do this one. It's very similar to the one I just did, so the minor changes in the arms and in general entire figure, such as well, actually they're not minor changes, they're more significant changes, such as how the elbow interacts with the arm. So this is the basic concept of a gesture, and then of course you can, like I said previously, build on it. So let me do some more. I'm gonna do this one right here. Basically, you gotta capture the dynamic of the pose in the first 30 seconds. That's the main thing. And So this is the basics, and let me just do this last one. And the arms, of course, over the head. And you can just build upon it, but this is the basic. The basic construction of the figure. So I hope you enjoyed it, and you know, it just takes some practice, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you gotta get the main momentum of the figure, the main dynamics of the figure, the vitality, the movement, and that's really what the gesture is about. You can always add the detail, but the very important thing about the gesture is the first 30 seconds of it. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching.